Pretty much everyone is going to be a free agent next year with the exception of players that are on their rookie deals. Those rookie deals are 4 years long. Is that right?
Yeah.
4 years long. When you get drafted, they'll automatically go up to the rookie minimum. So, players like Aliyah Boston will have, 1 more year or 2 more years, 1 more year. Caitlin Clark will have another year. So, but pretty much everyone after that, after the end of next season, is up for grabs. So this year is like, we're going to talk about
The WNBA offseason has been absolutely wild. While the NBA has dominated headlines with blockbuster trades, the WNBA has been making moves that might be even more game-changing. And no team has been more aggressive than the Indiana Fever. They are no longer a rebuilding team. They are ready to win. Now, today, we're breaking down why the Indiana Fever are suddenly one of the scariest teams in the league. The Fever already had 2 back-to-back Rookie of the Year winners in Aliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark. That alone made them an exciting team. But they didn't stop there. The biggest change came at the top. Head coach Christy Sides, who led the team to a respectable improvement, is out. In comes Stephanie White, a proven winner who took the Connecticut Sun to consecutive semifinal appearances and was named the 2023 WNBA Coach of the Year. This move signals one thing: Indiana wants to win. Now, White's experience and leadership could be the missing piece this young team needed. But coaching alone doesn't win championships. You need talent. And the Fever went all in this offseason.
That Kelsey wasn't happy and she was definitely going to get out of Indiana. And I honestly have always I always thought she was going to resign. I thought that it would be crazy if she didn't. I thought it would be crazy if the Fever tried to move on from her. I thought it would be crazy for her own career to try to leave and go somewhere else. I feel like the Indiana Fever is that golden destination for any free agent.
Key players returning and new additions. Kelsey Mitchell, the scoring machine. Mitchell has been the face of Indiana for years, and she's coming off a career-best season, averaging 19.2 points per game, shooting nearly 47% from the field, and draining threes at a deadly 40% clip. She's played alongside Caitlin Clark for 1 season already, and their chemistry as a backcourt duo is only getting stronger. With both players ranking in the top 5 for three-pointers made last season, opposing defenses will have their hands full.
Sophie Cunningham, a player that, I would say a 3-and-D type player who has, been to the finals, so has that playoff experience. She's also just tough. She's mentally tough. She's physically tough. She brings an edge to them.
Sophie Cunningham is the perfect addition to this team. Coming over from the Phoenix Mercury in a 4-team trade, Cunningham is a 36% career three-point shooter. But here's the key. She gets even better in the playoffs, shooting nearly 43% from deep when the pressure is on. Having a shooter like her next to Caitlin Clark is a game changer. Indiana's offense just got even deadlier.
Natasha Howard certainly stands out. I loved playing with Tosh.
But you cannot say enough about
I cannot say enough about Tosh. I really enjoyed playing with her. I think she really is she's just this glue player that doesn't get enough shine for what she does, because a lot of what she does doesn't show up in the box score, but she just is always in the right place at the right time. And a player like that, I think complements what Indiana is.
Howard is a proven champion, 3 rings to her name, and she's bringing that winning mentality to Indiana. Replacing Melissa Smith at power forward, Howard is an upgrade at the position. She averaged 19 points per game last season and provides elite rebounding and defense. She's also no stranger to new head coach Stephanie White. They were together in Indiana early in her career, making a deep playoff run.
Now, DeWanna Bonner is also a veteran in this league, and she can do it all. She can also shoot the 3. She is also nasty on defense, which, if you guys remember, last season, defense is something that a lot of people criticized the Indiana Fever for. That was something that they definitely needed to work on. Now you have Lexi, now you have Sophie, now you have DeWanna Bonner, now you also have Natasha Howard. All of these women can defend. She is somebody who is coming in, once again, when I talked about Natasha Howard, she's a veteran. She knows how to win. She seems like she has a great attitude. I'm a huge fan of hers. She is tall. She will be able to stretch the floor. She will be able to play the 2 through the 4 when the Fever needs them. And she also likes to run the court.
Now, they're reuniting for another shot at glory. Bonner is coming off a dominant run with the Connecticut Sun, where she helped lead them to the semifinals every season she was there. With 2 WNBA championships under her belt, she instantly becomes the most experienced player on this Fever roster. And this is huge. Before Bonner, the entire Indiana Fever roster had only 19 combined playoff games under their belt, and none of those players were starters. Now, with Bonner's leadership and championship experience, this team finally has a veteran voice to guide them in high-pressure moments. Caitlin Clark, elite playmaker and three-point shooter; Kelsey Mitchell, proven scorer; DeWanna Bonner, championship pedigree; Natasha Howard, defensive anchor; Aliyah Boston, dominant post presence. Last year, Indiana was scrappy, but now they have depth, they have experience, and most importantly, they have the right mix of young superstars and proven winners. All right, so we've talked about how stacked the Indiana Fever's roster is. But let's be real. Are they ready to take on the WNBA's elite? Let's start with the defending champs, the Las Vegas Aces. They have back-to-back MVP A'ja Wilson, elite scoring from Kelsey Plum and Jackie Young, and a championship mindset. They've been the team to beat for the last 2 seasons, so how do the Fever match up? Interior battle. Aliyah Boston versus A'ja Wilson will be a must-watch matchup. Boston showed flashes of dominance in her rookie season, but she'll have to take another step forward to go toe-to-toe with Wilson in a playoff series backcourt scoring. Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell give the Fever a deadly 1-2 punch in the backcourt, which could help neutralize the Aces' offense. The Fever aren't there yet, but they're building a team that could challenge Vegas sooner rather than later. Then there's the New York Liberty, a team that reached the finals last year but fell short. They have a dominant big in Brianna Stewart, a superstar guard in Sabrina Ionescu, and one of the best passers in the game, Courtney Vandersloot. The Fever's depth. Unlike last year, Indiana now has players like Bonner and Howard to help them compete physically inside. If Clark and Mitchell can match New York's outside shooting, we could see some fireworks when these two teams meet. And let's not forget the Seattle Storm, who are getting better with Jewel Lloyd leading the way, and the addition of Nneka Ogwumike. Every championship-caliber team has one thing in common: a mix of elite talent and experience. The Fever now have that, and Clark had an impressive rookie season, but we all know that year 2 is where great players separate themselves. Defenses will now have an entire offseason to game plan against her. Can she still dominate when teams throw constant double teams her way? Adding new players like Bonner, Howard, and Cunningham is great, but it takes time to build chemistry. Will this team gel in time to make a deep playoff run? The Fever's offense is stacked, but can they get stops when it matters? Boston and Howard are strong defenders, but they'll need the entire team to buy in defensively to compete with squads like the Aces and Liberty. The Fever will finish as a top 3 seed in the WNBA. With this level of talent, Indiana won't just make the playoffs. They'll secure home court advantage in the first round. Caitlin Clark will lead the league in assists. With so many new offensive weapons around her, expect Clark to rack up assists and become the league's top playmaker. The Fever will make the WNBA Finals. This one's bold, but why not? If this team clicks, they have the talent to go all the way,